All right, so today I want to talk to you about reporting. Sometimes in our business, things don't always go according to plan. And when they don't go according to plan, sometimes it's because of bad actions taken by a carrier or bad actions taken by a broker. Now, when those bad actions take place, sometimes you will find a need to have to report those actions because you want to give your compadres heads up of the type of business that this person is doing so that if they had potential business with that carrier or broker, they can take a look at what he's done in the past and make a decision on whether or not this person is a good person to work with, right? So it could save you some time and money. Let's talk about some of the actions that you report as a broker on a carrier. Unauthorized rebrokering of shipment. We all know that double brokering is a problem, so we don't want our loads double brokered. So you would report an action such as that. No show or no call. So you had a carrier, he was slotted for a load, he was supposed to pick it up, he didn't show up, he didn't call. Canceled after accepting load. We always know how that goes, right? You've covered the load, everything is good, your profits are set, and then your carrier calls and says that he's canceled the load. Now, what happens sometimes with carriers, not all times, sometimes they just ran into an issue that they couldn't help. But sometimes what they do is they go out and they find other loads, and then they call and cancel your load if they happen to be making $100 more in that load. Or they hail your load hostage. Different things take place. We know how it works in this business. And sometimes carrier may get angry for whatever reason. The broker may have said something or didn't do something according to what the carrier thought he should do. And then he says, hey, I'm just going to hold the load hostage. I'm not going to drop it. So if you do something like that, then a broker has an outlet that he can report you to if he's in certain types of groups, affiliated with certain types of groups. In this situation, Carrier 411. It's called Freight Guard. And it's not a system where you're just reporting carriers. Carriers can also report bad actions of brokers. Now, here are some of the things that a carrier would report on a broker. Unauthorized rebrokering of shipment. Payment issues. That's a big thing. You want to make sure, if you're a broker, that you're paying carriers on time because that could cause big issues. Brokers freight without broker or freight forwarding authority. If you don't have the proper authority, a property broker authority or freight forwarding authority, you are not authorized to broker freight. Operates without a bond or trust fund. We know that you have to have a $75,000 surety bond. If you don't have that and you're doing that, carrier finds that to be the case, then he'll report you to this outlet. And when you report it, then others can see the type of business that you've been doing with other people that you've been working with. Now, just so you know, Carrier 411, this Freight Guard is not the only option when it comes to reporting performance of a broker or a carrier. So what I would like for you to do, many of you already have affiliations with certain groups out there. If you would, leave us a comment in the comments section. Let us know what other reporting agencies perhaps some of you may be reporting to. Now, the reason why I decided to discuss this topic today, reporting bad actions of carriers and freight brokers, is because I just had a situation, a person within my network, he was actually a carrier, and he was calling asking me about Freight Guard and if I had ever heard of Freight Guard because he had been reported by a broker. And he wanted to know what should he do, what actions could he take, how could he respond to that particular report. So I took a look at it. I did have some familiarity with Carrier 411 with that Freight Guard already, but I looked at it, a little bit deeper for him, and I told him that Freight Guard is a system within Carrier 411, and their members can report actions against brokers or carriers, right? So if you go in and you violate, let's just say you double brokered a load, they can go in and report it to this system, to Freight Guard, and everybody within Carrier 411 can see that report. Whatever you do, you should be able to say, hey, I'm doing what is right as far as what the rules are, as far as what good business means. I know that I'm operating in the right way. So you wouldn't double broker a load. You wouldn't just go ahead and, give a carrier a load and then call back and cancel it because you found a carrier to do it lower than he would. right? So it's all about doing good business. And when you're doing it that way, you don't have these concerns. And when it happens, if something happens, you want to try to get ahead of it before it's reported. But if it's already reported, sometimes you're going to just have to look at that and learn from that situation, because you may not be able to respond to it. In this situation, if it's within Freight Guard and you're not a member of Carrier 411, you won't be able to respond to it. So to try and go out and find every report and respond to those reports, I don't think that's necessary. As a matter of fact, I don't think there should be very many reports that you're responding to at all. Because if you're doing straight up business, there's no reason why you should be getting reported, right? That's on the broker or the carrier side. Just doing honest business, doing what you know to be right. If you do that, I don't think these problems occur. But one thing that I do like to do is to get ahead of problems, right? Before it ever even reports anywhere, let's have a conversation. Let's understand each other so that we can get past this. Because once things get reported, there's a whole lot of rigmarole that you have to go through, and I'd rather not do that, right? And what we also have to understand is it's good for us to have these type of systems in place, because they keep us honest as freight brokers, they keep us honest as carriers. And we need that in this business. Unfortunately, everybody just did not say, hey, I'm just gonna be a good person. I'm gonna do what is morally right. Everybody is not, wired that way. I think most of us want to do the right thing, but you are going to have a fraction of people who are not wired that way, and they want to do things that are outside of the scope of good business. And when they do that, it needs to be reported somewhere. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's the 5-video series, and I titled it How the Load Movement Process Works. And the whole reason why we did this video series is to give you an up-close and personal look into the freight broker business before you come into it. So it's going to show me in the office via video, moving loads, talking to shippers and carriers to give you a better understanding of how this business works. And then if you're interested in learning more about how much it costs for you to start your own freight broker business, what are the setup costs, I'll leave a free video right here. So until next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.